Mark, nice to meet you. Glad you're here. There's one person I want you to meet. They won't be here today. Micah Busey is a brilliant guy. He runs the whole software system. He just sent me a text. They're shooting a video right now for a new one for the website, and it is going to be great. So this is really kind of fun seeing this happen while I'm on the call here. But anyway, back to you, Steve.
Oh, yeah, we just got about 3 minutes. We usually let everybody kind of roll in here for the first 5 minutes, and then we're going to get started right away and move right into Patrick. So we have plenty of time for Q&A.
You know, the gentleman on the phone with us, Charles, he's muted right now, but we're starting on Monday. He has sent out and reached out to about 15 of his top 200 people, and we're going to start going next week. It's really exciting. When our company attracts somebody that is used to a seven-figure income earner in the networking industry, we have 3 of them now. They see something. They see something they know comp plans, and this is not a bunch of hype and regular networking, and it's really refreshing. So I'm glad he's here, and I'm glad everybody's here.
Hey, does my mic sound okay? Because I'm trying another.
It's a little weak, but we can hear you, Charles.
Sounds a little muffled, but we can hear you.
I'll speak up. I'm good at that.
Hey, if for anyone, if this is your first time here, if you're someone's guest, go ahead and put your name and who invited you here in the chat, the little chat box there, and where you're from. Just a couple more minutes, and then we'll get going.
Patrick doesn't want to start until we get to 60.
Exactly. He's going to hold out.
Well, we're at about 30, and after recording it, in fact, hey, Patrick, I thank you again, because the last video you did for us, thank you for being here, of course. The last video you did for us, I've been sending that out to some people, and it's I'm going to look forward to you recording this one today, Steve, please.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and hit the record now. We can always cut out the beginning if we need to. Back to 4, record, and to the cloud.
Recording in progress.
And Bo, you're co-host, so I'll let you just keep letting people in as they come in, because I'm sure they're going to pour in as soon as they figure out Patrick's talking today.
I agree.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get going. My name's Steve Muckatable. I am the CEO of Silveris. Welcome on this Saturday. As we've promised a few weeks back, we're going to start proactively scheduling certain speakers for specific solutions that we have, and announce that in advance, so that way you can invite your members and your guests in to hear more in-depth conversation on a specific solution. This week we have Patrick Mazer, who is a user of our solution and the one that brought the solution to us. So he's been instrumental in getting this launched. Patrick actually spoke, I don't know, what was it, a month and a half ago maybe, Patrick, on this health share or impact share solution. We just weren't ready to launch. There was a lot of discussions that had to go. We had things with the website that had to be done, and we weren't ready to launch, even though people were super excited. So as we promised in the past, we don't want to make big announcements unless we're ready to roll them out, and we are officially ready to roll out Impact Share. So after you hear Patrick today, you are going to go ahead and be able to check out the pricing, enroll yourself as members, and I'll let Patrick get more into that. So without any further delay, Patrick, I'm going to turn it over to you. You can introduce yourself better than I could.
Well, first, it's great to be a part of today's event. I believe you guys have an incredible opportunity with the leadership team, with the level of experience this leadership team came together in what I believe is one of the premier opportunities in America today. And I think the more you get into understanding all the offerings that you guys are going to be able to take to the marketplace, you're going to see right away why I believe this company over the course of the next 12 months is going to be a major player. And how many of us would agree timing has a lot to do with success? And when you're there at the very beginning, I mean, that's what everybody dreams about. Man, what if I was at the beginning of Uber? Or what if I was there at the first 30 people at Airbnb? Imagine what my life would look like today. And that's where you guys are here with your specific opportunity. You're at that ground floor, yet you've got decades of leadership experience behind a ground floor opportunity. So you got the best of both worlds. You got a new opportunity, but you have something that is being led by Steve, Mark, and others that I know that just bring a tremendous amount of leadership to the company. And Steve, just to maybe get everybody on the same page, could you show them where they can actually access Impact? Because I want everybody to know how you can actually take advantage of this particular service. So for those of you that are Silveris and have already made the decision to join the team, you know the back office. And Steve, maybe you can navigate this for everyone.
After this is over.
Real quickly for you. So if you go into our
After this is over.
Tell I'm already logged in. So if I click
Okay, I'll get that for you.
here on my logo, it will take me to my back office. If you go into the back office here, Micah has actually put a new banner called Representative Perks. Because as you know, we have many solutions in the pipeline, and some are just going to be perks exclusively for our members. And Impact Share is one of those. It's exclusively for our sales representatives. Customers that come into Silveris can't purchase the Impact Share. You need to be a sales representative. So that's a huge perk. I'll let Patrick go into how to strategize on that. But all you have to do is click Impact Health Share. It's going to take you right to an Impact page. This is specific to Silveris. You can tell up here SOL, and you can go ahead and start getting quotes and pricing, and then just go right down the path.
Can you,
How's that, Patrick?
Yeah, could you just quote, just to show everybody, let's say that you have somebody that is looking for healthcare, and let's just say I personally, in 11/11/1975,
and then
just you? Single guys. This will give you guys an idea what I would pay. You could see $288 a month with a $2,500 deductible, down to $150 with a $150 monthly rate with a $10,000. What we would know is the deductible. Now, Steve, if you could just go back up and show everybody if I had 5 kids. Say I was married, I got 5 kids. I'm tired of saying just 5 kids, but if you just change it to 3+, this is how we can quote a family. So that would be for me $628 for a wife and 5 kids is what I would pay with a $2,500. What we would know is the deductible. They call it primary responsibility, but this was what you and I would know. So thank you, Steve. I just want everybody to know how they can quote. They can sign up right at the website so they can enroll. How Impact works is when somebody wants health coverage, they can sign up immediately and start getting it as soon as the following first day of the month. So if you signed up today in February, your coverage would start March 1. If you sign up in March, your coverage would start April 1. So it's the beginning of the following month. Now you saw that I paid $628. Prior to Impact Health, I was with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. This was $2,700 a month for my family. $2,700 a month. You can see right on my beautiful card, don't come to the emergency room without $600. That's $2,700 a month. When I saw that I could get better coverage for $628, how many of you agree? That's a $24,000 a year savings. Now, when you can show somebody $24,000 a year savings, can we agree you're going to get their attention, right? Price moves the needle. When I got my Impact Health card in the mail, it said right here at the bottom, ER visit $150. So you'll see, and I'll show you in my slides, $150. Now, can we agree if I went to the emergency room and gave them that card, the hospital gets paid? If I would have gave them that card, the hospital gets paid. The only person that cares is the customer. What's the customer paying? So I'm saving $24,000 a year, but my entry into the emergency room with Impact Health would be $150. If I was using Blue Cross, it would be $600. So can we agree there's a decisive, you don't get different treatment at the emergency room. They don't put you in a different door. Everybody gets treated the same. And the reason why this is so explosive is because they're nonprofit. So Impact Health Sharing is a nonprofit entity, meaning they can't make any profits. They do nothing but serve members and pay members' medical bills. Now, just to give you guys a little background, Impact has done an amazing job of really showing people how they can benefit off of an alternative to health insurance. And just to give you guys a quick run through.
Healthcare spending made up 5% of total US GDP in 1960. In 2020, spending hit almost 20%.
National polls show Americans believe healthcare prices and drug costs are among their top pocketbook concerns.
Over the past 20 years, the runaway cost of health insurance has outpaced earnings and inflation, leaving our families with less freedom and less money. Families, small businesses, and individuals alike are struggling to find a way to pay for the health care they can't seem to afford. So how are we going to solve this problem? All over the world, technology is changing the way people and society connect and interact. The result? Countless industries are disrupted. But while the rest of the world has changed, insurance and the way we pay for healthcare remains broken and largely the same. What if there was a way we could all pay for healthcare that simply worked better and felt better than insurance? Well, today there is. We are Impact Health Sharing. We are a network of families, individuals, business owners, and small entrepreneurs who want to see the old way of doing things change. We use technology to connect tens of thousands of individuals and families across the nation to simply share and pay each other's medical bills. Old problems can be solved when people come together to leverage their sense of community with technology to control the cost of healthcare. Go to impacthealthsharing.com for more info.
So Impact Health Sharing delivers a modern and affordable alternative to health insurance. It works better, it feels better, and something that has been extremely exciting for me because health sharing is not new. It's been around for over 40 years. How many of you heard of companies like Medishare, right? So for the last 40 years, it's been in the Christian community only. You had to be a Christian. You had to sign an affidavit from your church saying that you were in good standing as a Christian. Now, I must have been a bad Christian because I never heard of HealthShare before. Has anybody here ever heard of HealthShare before by a show of hands? Anybody on here that's, okay, Dr. Harvey has, okay, anybody else that's heard of health sharing before? Sam has, great. I know I talked to Jeff has. And the reason that Bruce, you and I talked about this before, why this is such a disruptor is it's been around for 40 years. Now, when the Affordable Cares Act came, the government said you can't keep this in the Christian community. So Impact Health was designed as a non-religious. What does that mean? They don't ask religious questions. Doesn't matter what your background is, everybody can be a member. Now, here's the second thing. How many of us agree that Burger King just looked at McDonald's and started their business? Or Lyft just looked at Uber and started their business? So can we agree this isn't something new? Like Lyft didn't come up with the idea of rideshare, Uber did. Lyft just came in and said, great, we want to do what you do. So Impact Health was started by the former CEO and president of Medishare. And they actually mentored Impact to say, here's the positives of HealthShare and here's the negatives. The positive of HealthShare is the price. How many of us saw $628 for me instead of $2,700? So we can agree that the price is a factor. Number two is that if you look at traditional HealthShare, you had to pay the bill and then get reimbursed. So there's 500,000 people using Medicare where they have to pay the bill. You know, kid had to get an operation, pay the bill, and then you get a reimbursement. We don't work like that. We feel like insurance, we look like insurance. You get a card, you hand the card when you walk into the doctor, all the bills go to Impact. Impact pays the bills. Does that make sense? So we don't get a reimbursement, they pay the bill. Now, the second thing I want you to know is because this has been around for 40 years, people like the individuals that raised their hand already understand how big this can be when it comes to giving affordable options in health insurance. Now, what does comprehensive medical mean? That means ambulance ride, doctor visit, operation, God forbid somebody gets cancer. Impact is paid for heart transplants. Impact is paid for a double lung transplant. Impact is paid for a liver transplant. So they pay for major medical, God forbid anybody here needs it. Now, we also have no network. That means every doctor in every hospital you can go into. How many of us would agree that's a big deal? Meaning, we talked about before, freedom to choose. How many of us believe in freedom of medical choice? That if you have to go to John Hopkins because that's the best hospital to fix a family member's problem, how many of us are going to John Hopkins? If you're with United Healthcare, restricting. If you're with Blue Cross Blue Shield, restricting, meaning they're going to tell you where you go. You're not going to have the freedom of choice. How many of us would agree that's a big deal of being able to choose where you want to go for your particular medical treatment? Now, second part of impact that's really exciting is when you look at where the rates start. Starts at $73 for an individual, all the way to $378 for a family. So we're saving anywhere from 30 to 70% on the average customer. So the average customer is seeing a 30 to 70% savings. Now, when you look at the card itself, this is what our members get. The front, the back, it looks like insurance, it feels like insurance, there's 800 numbers. If you walk into a doctor and they say, well, I'm not familiar with this, no problem. You call the 800 number and they will talk to the billing department. So it makes it really convenient for our members to be able to have that freedom of choice and to go to the doctor that they first like. Now, who's the target market? Individuals and families who are overall fairly healthy. Meaning that's going to be the market of people that are going to see real estate. We're looking for people that are paying for health care. 91 billion people fall into these categories. Number one, groups and companies, self-employed. We can do businesses. We can help. If you're here today and you own a business, you can offer health care to your employees. How many of us agree it's the greatest retention tool for any business owner to offer health care? Right? Independent contractors, gig workers, part-time workers, all of these individuals are struggling today to find an affordable healthcare option. And then those that have no health insurance, which is shocking to think today in the modern world, there's millions of Americans that opted out of healthcare because of the price. And now we've got an alternative for those individuals, which is really exciting that you guys are leading the way with this particular product, and we're excited about that partnership. Now, for businesses, we can do small businesses. That means 49 or less is really our target market. So let's say you're sharing the vision of Solaris to somebody that's a business owner. How many of us see the value of them becoming a member, so that now they have affordable health care to offer their employees? We can work with payroll. We can work with HR. Impact will do all that for us. We just connect Impact up and they take it from there. So we don't have to get involved in explaining it. All of that will be done on your behalf. Now, get a quote. Steve did a great job quoting me. What's the birth date of the oldest member of the household? That's what you can do right on your back office. You're going to be able to go in and put a quote together. And I recommend all of you doing it today. Go to your back office today and get a quote. Let yourself see what the benefits are for you personally. How many members in your household? Children under 26 years old can fall in a family plan. So it's great to be able to offer that to an entire family. This is awesome. Looks like a family of five would be $576 with a monthly deductible of $2,500. And this is back to the quote that Steve did. Yes, we take smokers. We pay an extra $50 a month. We also would take somebody that is 40% more BMI, means body mass index. So we would accept those individuals. They would just pay an extra $125 a month. So again, this is very, very flexible for people to come in. We also have an option for people that are Medicare. This can be a supplemental to Medicare. So individuals that are on Medicare A and B, we can offer that as well. And if you look where it says co-share 10%, that 10% is limited to $5,000 per year per household. So let's say you have a family of 5, somebody needs an operation, you hit your deductible of $2,500. You only have to pay 10% moving forward, but there's a cap of $5,000. So it's really, really exciting for families to know that they're not going to have to be stuck with millions of dollars in medical bills that we know people have in the past because of the medical, programs that they were a part of. Now, here's an individual that's 30 years old. You can see how they would pay anywhere from $102 a month to $246 a month. Again, very exciting for these individuals. Now, look, families 3 or more, oldest members 30 years old, you can see how pricing would start at $404 and go all the way to $576. So again, very affordable, a disruptor when it comes to healthcare in America right now. A $4.3 trillion broken industry is healthcare. How many of us think we got a big opportunity here to be able to help some of your members, put that money back in their pocket? Look, if any one of you would approach me with this and showed me $24,000 a year in savings, I couldn't wait to be a member of your company, because I know you got other things up your sleeve that can help me, in this being one of those things that you're looking at here today.
Anything you're saying is recorded.
Now, you can always go in as a lead. So as a member, if you want to talk to somebody at Impact, you just fill out the form, you submit the name, email, phone number, and somebody from Impact would call and actually educate you on your specific situation. And then the programs are for single people. I talked a little bit about seniors a minute ago. Part A, Part B, we have that opportunity here today. Groups 49 or less.
I'll go in the bedroom.
Works incredibly well. And then we've got family pricing as well, which again, you can see that starting at $378. Now, I love that Impact customer. I get my very own Impact. So here's the quote to people. Go in, get information, who you can enroll as a customer. So everybody that wants to be a customer can just enroll. It takes about 3 minutes to do so. Very simple, very easy. Now, I'm an Impact customer. This is my Impact back office. I happen to go to the emergency room back in August of 2022. This is just to give you an idea. I had a $3,000 bill from the emergency room. August 21st, I walked into the emergency room. September 9th, Impact received my medical bill. Impact paid my bill September 27th. Now think about that from a doctor perspective. Doctors don't get paid for 120 days with some insurance companies. How many of us see the advantage for a medical doctor to want to be taking Impact, seeing that they paid the bill in under 3 weeks? They negotiated $27.25 off my bill. So there was a big negotiating that was done, and it worked incredibly well. Also, the nice thing is the total bill was $138. That was X-ray emergency room. That was blood work at the emergency room. And as you noticed, I paid $150 to walk in, so it was a total of $288. Now remember, if I would have walked in and gave them this card, does everybody see, that would have been $600 I would have paid. My bill was $138. Would Blue Cross send me $400 back? Probably not. How many of us would agree with that statement? So you can see the transparency that we have with this product. This is extremely revolutionary for people that are, looking for that transparency. Now, just to give you an idea, when it comes to your care team, you're free to go to any doctor you want. So there's just a list of different, doctors that somebody could go to. Let's say that I was in Concord, North Carolina, and my son needed to go to a pediatric doctor because he wasn't feeling well. There would be 1,400 doctors here that we've already done something with, and you could walk in and use, and all of that becomes available to the Impact customer. Now, let's say that somebody wants to look at the amount of people that we have. Right now, Impact has 7,320 members. We have $11 million we've collected, and here are some of the members' bills that were paid: 42,000, 38,000, 24,000, 19,000, 17,000, 14,000. These are families that had their bills paid because they needed those bills paid as a member. Now, I'm a customer of Impact, and you can see how I paid in $2,900 since being a customer. They've taken $1,700 out to pay other people's medical bills, and I have $966 sitting in my account. If I quit today, Impact would send me back the $966 because it was never used. It's just sitting there. So they're very, very transparent with every dollar that comes in. They show you every dollar that was paid out. Anything that you and I want to look at, they're willing to show us. Now, again, this is not a new concept. Health sharing has been around for 40 years. They've paid billions and billions of dollars in claims. What's new is bringing it to people that are not Christian people. Does that make sense? So this is something that non-Christian people now have access to that they've never had access to. So we're taking it out of the Christian community and we're bringing it into the mainstream community. So that's why this can be so big for people that are looking for affordable health care. Now look, I'm talking to CEOs and I've talked to people that push brooms at businesses. Can we agree everybody's dealing with the skyrocketing cost of healthcare? It's a $4 trillion for-profit industry. These companies are getting rich on the back of sick people. How many of us would agree with that statement? I know you've got, WebMD that you can couple this with. I know you've got some great drug price you can couple this with. So remember, this gives you a full solution for people that are looking for health care or health coverage. Also, if you get sick out of the country, they pay all medical bills. God forbid any of us are on vacation and break our leg in Mexico because we drank too much, they're going to pay the medical bills. So all of that out of country is also paid for. Impact has paid over 33,000 claims, and there's not one member, I'm a member, that hadn't got their bills paid. Now, how many of us agree these major insurance companies have thousands of lawsuits on people like us that didn't get our medical bills paid? So when people go, hey, I'm with United Healthcare, they're horrible, right? Oh, I'm with Aetna, they're horrible. What does that mean? They don't pay. If you just look at all the lawsuits, right now, if I were to call you up and said, hey, I'm selling Hondas, but this Honda has 1,000 lawsuits against it by customers like you, how many of us would run for the hills? How many of us would run off the car lot? Understand, that's health insurance today. This is going to be an amazing option for people that are smart. They can read the guidelines. If you have a baby at home, we pay for the medulla. How many of you know people that are wanting to have babies at home, right? They pay for the medulla. We cover mental health. What does that mean? Psychologists, psychiatrists. If the baby, if the mom needed postpartum depression, we pay for that. We pay for the psychologist. We pay for the psychiatrist. So these are all benefits as a member that you get. Now, a couple of things that you have to be aware of. There is something called preconditions. Preconditions means if somebody is currently under cancer treatment, that's a precondition. We are not going to pay that bill. Does that make sense? So if they come into the share and they have cancer, we'll pay for a broken arm. We'll pay for stitches in. your head, but we're not going to pay for somebody that's currently under that medical treatment, if that makes sense. Because remember, we got a share of money that we want to start with a fairly healthy person. Now, if somebody survived or beat cancer 10 years ago, that's no longer a precondition. I have a woman named Rachel that she's a registered nurse. She beat cancer 10 years ago. Now, she was always looked at as a high risk. Does that make sense? So every time she would go get health care, they put her in a high risk category because 10 years ago she had cancer. We did not put her in a high risk. She came in. Once you're in, you're in. They can't kick you out. There's no lifetime limits. That means if you have cancer, we're going to pay every medical bill until you get better. How many of us love the fact that you can concentrate on healing and not have to worry about what your medical bills are? Second thing, my wife just broke her foot, right? Dropped the kettlebell on her foot, broke her foot, went to the emergency room. They took x-rays. They said, great, you definitely got a broken foot. And that was on a Friday. Monday, Impact called my wife, said, we see from your medical bills that you have a broken foot. We're going to now help you. Do you need to go to an orthopedic doctor? And if you do, which one did you choose? Let us call the doctor's office and make sure they have the Impact information so you don't even need to worry about that when you go. We walked into the orthopedic doctor. They said, great to see you. She's under care from an orthopedic doctor. Now, my wife didn't like the orthopedic doctor she went to, so she called a podiatrist, right? Went to a podiatrist, right? Impact said, you don't need any approval, right? Go to any doctor you want. She went to a podiatrist. She had a little better experience with the podiatrist based on her foot injury, and she's on the road to health. Had a customer, right? Went to a cardiologist. Cardiologist said, hey, look, you need an echogram. You know what I mean? You need a couple tests. They said, normally it takes your insurance company about a week in order for you to get approval. Does that make sense? If anybody's ever been there, they submit it to the insurance company. They called Impact at the office and they approved it over the phone. The doctor said, I've never had a patient come in and have approval for every medical test the same day you walked into the hospital. Because remember, Impact is member driven. This is not about profiteering. This is about members getting healthy. You're a member. I'm a member. Does that make sense? We're all working together to make sure that people get healthy. Impact has a 99% retention rate of customers. What does that mean? That means people don't leave when they get in. And the reason they don't leave when they get in is because you can't ever get kicked out. Now, the only reason people leave is they pass away. That's the only reason. It's the only time people get out. I said, well, why isn't it 100%? He goes, people die. Outside of people dying, nobody leaves. So again, if you're like me, I never heard of this 6 months ago. But as I started to open up and look at health sharing, I am blown away. The fact that we can save people thousands and thousands of dollars. And look, how many of us would agree we can repurpose that money for other things in our life, right? I have $24,000 left over in my 2023 budget that was set aside for healthcare that now that I can put to work in other things and I can help that money make money. Now, I know we've got a question. Why don't you unmute yourself? That way we can answer any questions. If it's okay, Steve, if we answer any questions.
Before we do that, we'll get into that, Patrick. I did want to clarify some things. So if anybody was watching the chat room, we had a hacker who hacked Deborah and was making some negative comments. And I can guarantee everybody, Deborah would never say something like that. But the hacker was actually fairly ignorant because he made a comment, Patrick, that this is only for poor people. This is only for broke people. And you and I kind of talked about this the other day. Would you go ahead and elaborate on that?
So the way that healthcare, and Bruce is, you're in-house expert here, but the way healthcare is figured out in America is on your income. So what does that mean? That means the richest person you know is paying the most money for healthcare. Like you might say, well, why did Patrick pay $2,700 a month with a $6,000 deductible? Was it because I'm an unhealthy person? You saw my age. It's not because I'm, 59. It was because of what I made. I called my neighbor who's an anesthesiologist. His wife's a general practitioner. I said, Doc, what do you pay for healthcare? He said, too much, right? I gave him a quote. He was going to pay $700. He was paying $4,000 a month. Why? Because his wife's a medical doctor. He's a medical doctor. Both their incomes together, they make a couple $1 million, and that's why they were paying so much. I signed my anesthesiologist doctor from $4,000 a month down to $700 for a family of 5. He took my impact card into the hospital. He was like, "You guys pay in 2 weeks. This is unheard of." He was like, "You don't know." That's how I know how long it takes for them to get paid, because he said it usually takes 90 days for us to get a reimbursement, or 120 days for us to get paid. Now imagine as a business owner, you did a job for somebody and they said, "I'll pay you in 4 months." How many of us would freak out, right? How many of us would be like, "I'll never use that business again"? So people that don't need impact are poor people. If you're on governmental assistance, this isn't going to be a program for you. Like if you have Section 8 living, or you know what I mean, you're subsidized, the government's going to pay your medical bills. But if you make any money in America, meaning you make 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 a year, you're paying for medical. And if you have a job, it's not free. Does that make sense? So I've helped my Amazon driver, the guy that dropped my boxes off, he was paying $700 a month on his side. Does that make sense? So they were taking $700 a month out of his pay because of his family. I quoted him with impact at $404. So even though he's a W-2 employee, he called to, right? HR said, I don't want your health care no more, and he's going to impact. So even as a W-2 employee, you can opt out of healthcare. They cannot mandate you force feed into healthcare. And that's why, 70% of people out there are using healthcare and 30% are opting out of healthcare. Now remember, if they lose their job, they lose their healthcare. So Google laid off 12,000, Amazon laid off 18,000, Disney laid off 7,000, Salesforce laid off 9,000. Bank of America laid off 10,000. So can we agree all of those people have no health care? They have no health care, because when you lose your job, you lose your benefits along with it.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. And I think it's safe to say the type of people you're targeting to become members of your sales team are ones that would want impact, Sheriff.
That's exactly it. I think this for you guys is such a lead opportunity because you have an exclusive on it. You're getting savings that nobody else is getting. You guys have negotiated an incredible deal for your membership. And I just see this as such a beautiful opportunity to layer all the great things. Now, look, I'm a customer. When I show people my back office, they can't believe it. Like, they literally get affected by what we're charging. And then when I show them all the bills that were paid, right, how many of us would agree? You've never seen that with Aetna or any other company. They don't show you their financials. They don't show you, here's all the people's bills that got paid, and here's how this works, because this is purely nonprofit. They cannot make any profits here. They have to give any profits back to people like us.
Awesome. Patrick, we had a question in the chat room, and then I'll go to Shahnaz. Can a small business split their employees out and put the relatively healthy ones on this and keep the rest on their existing group coverage?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yep.
So let's go to hands. If you've got questions, guys, you can put them in the chat or just put your virtual hand up. Shahnaz, let's go to you. I hope I'm saying your name right.
Yeah, Shahnaz. No problem, Steve.
Shahnaz, okay.
Patrick, sounds like an amazing program. And yes, I'm familiar with the shared programs that are out there. And you're right. They're Christian-oriented, religious-oriented. So this one is amazing that I just saw this now. So I love it. Now, a few questions. How long, and I apologize if you did say this and I missed it. How long has this program been in force?
So 4 years. Impact's been around 4 years, made it through COVID, paid all the bills. I like to say that's the black swan in the medical community. Shahnaz, what I love is you are familiar with it. I had no idea. I felt like I live under a rock. I met you and you're telling me, so my neighbor on the other side, like, I've been with Medishare for 10 years. He saved $140,000 in 10 years. When I showed him you didn't have to pay the bill first, he was like, that's even better, because in his program, as you're probably familiar with, you got to pay, and then it's a reimbursement situation. And they still got 500,000 customers, even with the Christian thing, even with the pay up front, and they still got 500,000 customers.
They're very successful, very successful. So, like I say, just coming in contact with this program, it's refreshing to see that you don't have to be an affiliate with some religious organization, that this is an option for many, many more people who, are looking for an alternative. Now, being the case that you said it's only been 4 years, they probably don't have much of a history to go by, because my next question was going to be, how often do the premiums change?
Great question. A couple things. It goes on your age. So the age, it's a small change every couple years according to age.
Okay, my last question. So you said that in order to have access to this program, you have to become a member with Silveris. So if it's a family, does it have to be just one individual in the family that becomes the member, or everyone in the family has to be a member? How does that work?
Steve, certain, right? As long as one person is a member, then you guys are going to, because they'll have access to the back office, so
Right.
you can sign up their entire family.
Yep. Anybody that has access to the back office can sign up.
Okay, that's all for now. Thank you.
Great question. Great questions.
Look, I need to take you to every meeting with me because you already know shares. So I'm going to put you in my pocket and take you to my next meeting, because once I find someone like yourself that already understands this, that's why my neighbors referred me a ton of customers, because he was like, it's great. But to your point, he said, look, I'm deep in the church. You had to be like a homeschooler. There was just a certain, individual that knew about it. It was like a really good secret. But now it's open to the public, and anybody can sign in, and we're not asking any questions about, what their affiliation is in the religious world.
Great.
Great.
I have a question, but Charles has had his hand up for a while.
Yeah, so I was going to say, Charles has been around the block, to say the least. He's been in this industry for a while. How cool is this to offer in this format, Charles? You're muted, though, sir. I think I don't know if he's local. There he is.
Amazing. Just amazing. It reminds me. The question I've got is, I'm having a flashback to our old prepaid legal days, when we would go into a small business and have an arrangement with the boss where we would do a payroll deduction, payroll deductions, and sign all their members up, or all their sales people up, whatever. So, if the business owner is a member of Silveris, can we do that? Can we go into a free sale that he's going to payroll deduction for his employees?
That's a great question. Patrick, have you seen that done? I'd have to probably go back to Impact. I'm sure they would make some kind of arrangement for us to be able to do that. I don't see an issue with that at all.
Impact loves you, Steve. So Impact, they'll bend over to help this organization. I know they've got a real affection for what you guys stand for and do, so I'm sure there won't be any challenges whatsoever.
Let me just give you a quick advice for this. There are, 13 million prepaid legal people that quit prepaid legal because of whatever reason, or they don't work that plan anymore. They think it's called legal still now or something else. But this is a huge draw for a group salesperson that is used to selling in groups to be able to go in. And so if you could arrange this could be mega big. I can't even tell you how big. You could run a whole company. In fact, there have been companies that run whole companies in the industry.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why it couldn't happen when you look back at the arrangement that we have with Impact Share. I don't really see any obstacles. It's just a matter of some logistical issues we'd work out.
Okay. So as long as the member should be tagged under that business owner, then that should take care of it.
Right. Denise, what's your question?
Hey, hi everybody. I was wondering, so my husband sets aside a certain amount of money in flex spending account every year for medical expenses. Are we able to use that money to pay for the monthly premium as well as any other medical costs, the 10% or the ER visit or whatever?
I don't know. You mean like a health savings account of some sort?
Yes. Yeah, they take it out of his paycheck, and it's, pre-tax dollars. So if we have to pay money for our eyeglasses, if there's extra than what's covered or whatever, we use that money to pay for that.
I think you could probably use it for those type of things to pay your monthly reoccurring. Don't know if that's going to be something they would let you do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give you something an answer. I don't know the specifics if that's true or not.
Okay.
Yeah, the answer is probably different for each organization anyway. Mark, I didn't mean to skip you.
Patrick, I just want to be clear. So, because I had a friend that we were in Hawaii and the wife had to go to the hospital, and when you got the bill, there was so much stuff in there that it didn't make sense. And I think you told me at one time that HealthShare will go and they will work it. They will negotiate the bill for the person. Elaborate on that, if you would.
Yes. So if you look at my my personal bill, that's why I love showing this to people, because what they don't understand is without having somebody negotiating, you're going to have to pay full retail. The benefit of Impact gets the bill first and they negotiate the bill. So if I look at my bill here, they negotiated $27.25 off a $3,000 bill. So the bill was $3,000. You know what I mean? So if I would have walked into that emergency room and I didn't have Impact, they would expect me to pay $3,014. But because I had Impact negotiated with the hospital, said, hey, look, we're going to pay you $138 because that's the real cost of an x-ray and blood work. So that's the negotiating side. So you're 100% right, Mark. I mean, look, people, the number one reason people went bankrupt in 2021 and 2022 was medical expenses. People, like you said, went to a hospital, got a $3,000 bill, couldn't pay it, pretty soon went to pensions, and now you're, upside down. So they take care of all medical bills. They negotiate medical bills. All bills go to Impact Health, and then Impact Health will show you, hey, look, these are the medical bills, that we paid, and here's how we paid it. So what's nice about this, you can even see mine. Here's the people that I helped. 161. I helped this person. So they took money out of my share to pay for these people's medical bills. I didn't even know it. It just happens without me knowing. And then they publish the big bills, 42,000, 38,000, so I helped with the 42,000 with my $161. So it's just a beautiful situation for us to be able to come together to pay people's medical bills and not be worried about, at a time when you're sick, the last thing you want to worry about is bills. Can we agree? You just want to focus on being healthy. And here's what my doctor neighbor told me. He said, Patrick, people die at home because they're afraid to go to the doctors because of medical bills. He said, you would be shocked at how many people died at home just because they were in their brain. I don't want to go to the, oh my God, I got a $3,000 medical bill. But when reality, it's $138. So, you know what I mean? How many people see that, hey, my friend went to the emergency room, got a $3,000 bill. Well, if you heard that story, you're thinking, I'm not going to the emergency room, right? I had a gentleman that was detailing my car, and I asked him, I said, do you have any medical insurance? He said, no. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you have car insurance? He said, yeah. I said, when you get in a wreck, does your family and friends ask how the car is? I go, what's the first question we all ask? Is everybody okay? Are you okay? Is the other driver okay? Right? Because that's all that really matters. Everything else is. I said the only reason you don't have it is price. Can we agree? That's the only, if medical, if it was free, you would have signed up for it. So he goes, yes, I don't want to pay $800 a month. Great. I took them just like you would, right to your Severe back office, click under health share, put their date in. Great. I would sign up immediately with you just to get that perk. And that's what you guys have that's so disruptive is you guys got something, and Charles nailed it. I mean, you heard Charles, he's been in this industry a long time. I mean, you're talking about a veteran that's saying, look, this can be viral once you guys go out and start quoting people right from your back office. So hope that helped you, Mark.
Yeah, I had one more, if you don't mind, real quick, Steve. And that is, I noticed that at the end of the year, after some of your money was used to help other people, you still had around $900 or $1,000 in your health share account. Now, can you either apply that? Can you elect to either apply that for future premiums monthly, or can you just ask for that money back, or do they automatically give that back to you?
Yes, so great question. So once a year, the company figures out how much profits they have, and they give the profits back to the members. So last year, on 2022, we had $700,000 left over, and we gave that money back to the members. So the members got money back because we did such a great job of attracting healthy people that didn't even need it. You see what I'm saying? The pot overflowed, and we keep a certain amount in reserve. So we have what's called actuaries, like people that tell you how much money to keep according to how many members you have. And then if there's anything left over, we give that back to members. So great question.
Well, I do have a comment now, and then I'll give it to you, Steve, and that is that what we've negotiated with Impact Health Share is you can't buy this protection directly on their site for the price that we are giving it to our members. And it's 5%. It can save $500 to $1,000 a year just because you're a Silveris member, and that's all I have, Steve.
Yeah, you guys get a better deal than me. So let's start there. So Mark and Steve negotiate. They're gonna. If I was a Silver and I would have got my membership, I'd have paid less than what I'm paying right now. So, and again, 5% over a lifetime, you're talking car. You know what I'm saying? You're talking, vacation to Hawaii a couple times in my lifetime. And hey, Andrew, you had your hands up.
Unmute yourself, please.
This is Bruce Weitzel. Hello. I'm just going to piggyback on what you're talking about. The model, the concept obviously has been around for years. I've been in health insurance for 30 years. I'm in Southeast Missouri. Nobody can get health insurance around here because you've got one company, Anthem, in the entire Southeast Missouri area. And it's the Obamacare, which is high priced. The deductibles are off the chart. And I had a client, throat cancer. They sent him to Barnes Hospital in St. Louis. Barnes would not take the insurance. Okay. So a couple of questions. One is, what's the lifetime or what's the annual max that they'll pay on per person for care? Because I realize that Christian Healthcare Ministries, for example, they have a tier. First year is so much, second year increases. So that's one question. The other question is, what about the network of doctors and hospitals? If you can't get into a doctor or hospital, you want to drive 4 hours to see somebody to the network.
Yeah, so great question, Bruce. I just want to clarify. The first question that you asked was no lifetime limits. So if you get sick, we're going to pay the medical bills until you get better. We can't kick you out. There's no lifetime limits on that. There is $500,000 of medical bills we'll pay per year. So every year you have $500,000 to go to whatever. We've never paid $500,000. We did a double lung transplant. Didn't go to $500,000 because you see the repricing of the actual cost of the procedure, right? So what the real cost is. Why doctors and every medical professional takes us, we pay more than Medicare. So we're paying above what Medicare pays, which in the doctor world, that's actually really good. So we have a payment scale above what they would pay if you were a Medicare customer going into the doctor. And we have a nationwide clearinghouse number. So once they take our clearinghouse number on the back, the payer ID, it's a nationwide payer ID. So it's hooked up with everybody's billing system, no matter if they're a small operation or they happen to be, a major hospital chain, either or we're able to go with.
Okay. Yeah, one last thing. So the pre-existing conditions, are those, I mean, you go back 3 years, 5 years, is there a standard?
Great question, Bruce. 3 years, no symptom, no treatment. That's the definition of a pre-existing. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, that's just being an American. So we take a smoker, you pay an extra $50 a month. If your body mass index is over 40%, you just pay an extra $125 a month. So we'll take them. You know what I mean? If it's 40% over what they should be according to their height, we'll still take them, but you just pay some extra money for that. So there's the preconditions are really easy to read. I've had many people that were high risk because 5 years ago, you know what I mean, 10 years ago, you know, they had a heart attack, had a stroke, or whatever that looks like. That's not a precondition for us if it's 36 months without any symptoms or any treatment.
Okay, one last thing. So if you enroll somebody, is everything done online, everything done on my laptop, or is there paper apps, or how's that work?
Yep. So right from your back office, you're going to be able to pull up Impact Health. And in that Impact Health, they give you a couple options. Option one, you can enroll right now. Option two, they can talk to somebody at Impact. As Mark mentioned, Salvaris has a special deal, and they're going to get a better deal going through you than trying to go any other direction, or they can quote themselves and sign themselves up right from the website. So Bruce, like, let's say, give me a year somebody was born.
65.
So let's say I had 1965, one person looking for health coverage. They could then get a quote. It'll quote them real time, $305 a month or $167, depending on deductible.
And these rates are obviously, I'm sure, competitive with the other programs out there in the marketplace.
Yes. So what I find in the sharing community, it's pay up front. So the negative is, one, you have to have an affidavit from your church, and, you know, people aren't comfortable lying. They're good Christians. So, you know what I mean? It's sort of, you know, that was always really a big pain point. You're, you know, in Central America or the middle of the country where you have a lot more Christians, if you will. But number two, they designed it to feel like insurance, look like insurance. You know what I mean? It works the same way, and we have no licensing needed. So you don't have to get a license, you know, to sign up. Meaning, if you just sign up, you don't need a license.
You don't need a license to sign other people up?
Yeah, don't, because they're going to become a member of your company, and they can just sign themselves up. So it's individuals signing themselves up. Okay. So you, like the gentleman you just spoke about, what's nice about your opportunity, Bruce, is you guys got a number of tools in the toolbox. You know what I mean? Obviously, this is a big one because of the, I mean, you're in the insurance world. You can let everybody know the pain. Like, I knew nothing about any of this stuff 6 months ago. I just paid $2,700 a month and yelled and complained every time the money went out of my account. You know what I mean? That's all I ever, you know, I just hated the fact it was a necessary evil, and I paid for it. I have a house in Pittsburgh, and also in Florida, and also in Dallas. So my big thing was networks. You know, my kid got sick in Pennsylvania. It was UPMC. You know what I mean? Like, we don't take anything. And like, oh my God, you know what I mean? I go to Florida, all Blue Cross home. You know what I'm saying? So I always had that challenge. When this came in, what I loved about it is there's no network limitations, because technically we're a cash customer. We got $11 million in our account, ready to fire off at any hospital or doctor that needs the money.
So it also alleviates these crossing state lines issue as well, because in traditional insurance, it's got each state has its own regulations, its own networks, and so forth. So that's, yeah, I think it's a gold mine personally.
I when I met with Mark and Steve and, you know, others like Charlie and others that are on here that understand, you know, something that is a real pain point in America right now. I mean, look, we all have Facebook. You can just put it, you know, who of my friends on Facebook feels they pay too much for health insurance? You'll get 500 people that'll. I had a woman this morning on TikTok that said, I lost my job. Right now, she was just wrote a video, said, lost my job. My insurance is $800 a month for a single woman. I'm looking for a man to marry for healthcare. And she did it as sort of a joke, you know what I mean? Like it was cute and funny. But I immediately was like, look, there's a great example where she's out there saying, hey, I'm looking to get married for healthcare. And I'm sure.
Love. That's love.
Right. I love you. You got, healthcare, So I just think it's a pain point, and I think you guys are entrepreneurs. And as an entrepreneur, we have to be resourceful on how to get in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can start a conversation about something that nobody in my experience of selling this has told me they loved United Healthcare. I haven't had one person say, Patrick, when we needed them, they were there. I hadn't had one person that was like, listen, I don't even want to look at another company because of my love for Blue Cross. So we know there's a little bit of dissatisfaction, and price moves the needle. Like price moves. Usually in America, if you pay less, you get less. This is the first time I paid less and got more, right? Because in Airbnb worked the same way. Because I used to rent a little box at the Marriott for my family when we went to Disney for $300 a night at the Marriott. I went to Airbnb for $300 a night. I got a 2-bedroom house. So I got more for less, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Where this is Airbnb, where they're actually giving us more for less than what we're comfortable usually paying.
In fact, I'm sorry. One more question.
No, go ahead.
So somebody can, so I send them to my website, they sign up, and I get compensated.
Yes. So the benefit is
no. Let me clarify that. So the margins on this healthcare program are not great. And so as a company, Solveris had to decide, do we just take a fraction of the margin and try to spread it out amongst the members, or do we just offer it as a good deal, as good of a deal as possible as we can to our members? And that's what we decided to do. So 100% of the margin goes to the members. Solveris, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but Solveris makes zero out of this. So it is purely a benefit and a tool that you can use to build your sales team.
Yeah,
unlike the life insurance, right?
Correct.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So let me just expand on that a little bit. We want to give the best deal that we can to all our members. And what Patrick told me, this is a twofold answer. What Patrick told me is, Mark, when you have this up and running and your back office for your members, this could attract 1,000 people a week. We get the word out there, and that people can get this. Joining Solveris is a small bump on the road to have access to this. Now, regarding commissions, when we were negotiating the deal, they told me that they have 5%. They also told me that when we hit a certain benchmark of members using the program, they're going to give us some more. And when they do give us some more, then we'll have that go out to our members. So I can't promise it, but Bruce, I believe that's coming.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If you guys have been to the presentation, or you'll see more during the week now that we're with the new memberships for Solveris, where we have our solution rep and our solution rep pro level. Many people are signing up right now at the pro level because of the technology value that's available in that package. They look at this and go, I could pay $190 for all of these things, or I can just become a pro rep for $79. It's a no-brainer. Now add on top of that the Impact Health Share, right? So you're going to be able to recruit more people onto your sales team, and at the sales rep pro level, that's $100 commission at that point. So you won't get a direct commission from the health share, but it could definitely impact your ability to recruit and get commissions on the business packages that you sell.
Gotcha.
Hope that helped. I'm going to go to the chat box here. I will say one thing that we all like Patrick when he first presented this to us, and we're like, hey, this is a great thing. But I did go and check it out. I wanted to see what the competition had out there, and man, it's slim pickings, Patrick. And I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but there's not a lot of health shares out there that don't have the religious requirements. You have to have these statements and everything. And I don't like that. Just, I have my beliefs, which are very much in line with that, but I don't like someone telling me I have to make a statement about this. And then the other thing is, I found a lot of the companies wouldn't even talk to us because of the way we want to distribute this, right? They're like, we don't want to deal with a network marketing company. They want their own protections, I guess, and security. Impact Share was unique, and I haven't found anybody like them that was willing to let us share the program like this. Maybe you can expand on that, Patrick.
Look, I mean, I did what you did, Steve. I looked at other companies, and look, when you read what they want you to sign, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't dance on Sundays. You don't even mean like it's not like an easy, you know. I mean, I don't know who could pass any of these tests to actually, you know, like. I mean, it's the 10 Commandments. I mean, it's tough. Second of which is Impact loves you guys. Impact has been on. They brought the CEO. They read your statement of beliefs and what you guys, your core values. And Mark, you were on there when he was like, "Look, you guys are who we want to be associated with. We feel the alignment's perfect. We feel the grassroots education that's going to be needed for this product." Like, this needs us. Does that make sense? It needs a network marketing educational program to bring the members in. And as mentioned, I love what Steve said is, look, if any of you would have called me up and showed me $24,000 in savings, I would be like, what else do you guys got up in your sleeve? Oh my Lord, I can get paid on drug pricing and telehealth. And oh, are you ERC credits? Like, oh my, wait, hold on. Like, when's the convention? That would have been my second. You know what I mean? Like, I need to get off the virtual world and I need to be sitting next to you because you guys have an arsenal. I mean, a straight arsenal of great value. So again, I think there's so much here, and this is just one piece of a great, amazing company.
So I want to say more thing on that, because in that meeting, I brought in all our officers and Patrick and all the officers with Phil, the president and the CEO, who I signed the contract with. And I was telling him about us. And all faith-based family people, transparent, just want to do the right thing. And it touched him. I could tell in his response that like-minded, he really wanted to do business with our group. And that felt really good. So yes, it's a great relationship. Thank you, Patrick.
Yep. Awesome. Patrick, do you see people using this as a supplement to their existing insurance coverage?
Look, when I first brought this home, my wife was an auditor in her previous life before meeting me, and she was vice president of compliance for American Express. So I paid both because she's like, you've made millions of dollars of business. Now you want to give us discounted health care, right? Because she didn't understand it like I didn't understand it, right? So I carried both for about 60 days. And then once I fully understood how good this product is, I completely got out with my previous carrier, which is Blue Cross. My wife is now a raging fan. She never had a call from her insurance company asking her if she's okay and what can we do to make sure your appointment goes smooth. So she is now a flag-carrying, raging fan. You know, now I hate to have to break your foot to be a fan, but look, you know, you get 50 chiropractor visits in this as well. We haven't even touched on that. You know what I mean? So every chiropractor in the country would love to be able to join your company because they're going to be able to see how their reimbursement is amazing. So, yeah, this is a solo. You don't need anything else. This is all you're ever going to need. This is all that my family has. But like anything, it took me a minute to wrap my head around it.
Yeah. Now, many of you may or may not know, but Patrick is a very successful network marketer already. And so, Patrick, you know, we have impact sharing and we have health perks, which offers additional health benefits. How would you, if you were going to talk to some prospects, bundle the two together?
Well, you know, it's a great combo because you have multiple things to be able to give somebody a well-rounded opportunity of protection for their family. And I think what my experience, just looking at all the great things you offer, again, I see ERC credit. I see some things on there that are incredibly exciting for people that are business. So who's going to find the best benefit is going to be self-employed people. And if you look, it goes hand in glove with what your offerings are already. So immediately your rep base is going to go after entrepreneurs. right? This isn't going to work for the brokest friend that we have that lives in their mom's basement. We're going to get away from those people, and we're going to go into the group of people that you really want to build a large team around, right? How many of you here today are business owners by a show of hands, whether in the past or currently are business owners? Look, that's 85% of everybody on. This is your leadership. This is the most dedicated people. So if you want dedicated people like this in your team, we've got to go to the people that are going to see the greatest benefit from this particular product or all of your product, to answer your question, Steve. Second thing is you get a free physical, right? So as soon as you become a member, go get your free physical. It's paid for. Blood work is paid for. So I told the guy that details my car, I said, don't go get a physical until you become a member. Because God forbid they catch something. Does that make sense? That could be a free condition. So get in the share first, then go get your physical. Does that make sense? Not to speak anything on them, but I was just like, don't go and get checked first, then try to be a member. Go be a member first, then go get your free physical. That's every year. We all get a free physical. We're all trying to stay as healthy as we can for all the reasons that we all should stay as healthy as we can. So I hope that helped.
Well, hey, Steve, let me say one more thing about that, because a great add-on with our health perks, well, number one, it's $17 a month. Number two, it includes dental and vision. And we've had a lot of members already that have really taken advantage of that. Thousands of dollars, tremendous savings. And I want to share something with you because, as we all know in this company, it's either exclusive, unique, or the best price. Well, you can go to Health Perks website and you can't get the same program for the same price, the $17.95. But at the same time, we're only paying $10.30 for that program. So we are so fortunate because then we can share that for commission within the membership. And Patrick, I saw you put your thumb up. And having dental and vision is a great addition with our health perks.
Yeah.
We don't cover that.
Yeah. Thank you. We had a question about alternative medicine. How is any of that covered in question?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if I can get Patrick's number.
Yeah, let me give it to you here. I'm going to put it on my my name. 267
questions? I don't see any, and I don't want to keep Patrick here too long. He's been very generous to take this hour and 15 minutes now. We really appreciate your time, Patrick.
I'm in love with your company and this product. So this is a labor of love for me right now. I believe you guys will become a major force of good. And with the leadership that you've got, with the people that are running this, I mean, I've been on many calls. I think Steve's sleeping right now. I don't know when he sleeps. I know Micah, you know what I mean? This guy is in a submarine somewhere. You know what I mean? This guy's another 7-day-a-week. Mark, same thing. But look, they left an impression on Impact Health where when the meeting was over, they called back and said, we like them. Like literally, like we like them. We like what they do. We like what they stand for. And look, I don't care. You know, anybody can put a company together. Anybody can go out and get a couple partnerships. But you have something incredibly special with who you've got running things and putting people first over profits. And I've seen that firsthand. I've been in this industry for many years, and it's really a breath of fresh air. And I'm really excited about where this can go as a company, and hopefully I played a little part in just, you know, being an educational source for you guys and giving you guys a little more confidence on what you got your hands on. And look, if you sign up as a customer, you're never going back. And once you see it, like the CEO of United Healthcare can knock on my door and I'm not giving him $24,000 more a year. There's nothing he could say, right? He can tell me, he can pick me up in a helicopter to go to my doctor visits. I'm still not going to give you $24,000 more a year.
Awesome. All right. Charles, did you have another question?
No, I'm sorry. That's
all right,
it.
no worries. All right, everyone. Hey, thanks for showing up on a Saturday morning and afternoon. Patrick, really, again, appreciate your time and helping us out and making this all come together and work for us. It's a unique situation. I'm glad we're able to offer it with Silveris. So with that said, everyone have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you guys at the next meeting.
Welcome back. Good
Thank
job,
you.
Roger. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, everybody.
Recording stopped.
All righty. Thank you so much for watching my live. And if you want to know more about our health perks, you can go visit down at the bottom, samsilversolutions.com, samsilversolutions.com, or reach out to me, 661-621-5340. Or if you look at the top, you have several ways to get a hold of me. You could scan that little QR code over, let's see if I got it right, over here. Yep, that's it. Scan the QR code, or you can go to samsilversolutions.com, or you can call me at 661-418-REAL, which is also 661-418-7325. Thank you much. Make it a great weekend, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.